freshmen like that guy, do they?
He's special. Special young man.
And could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Just the transition from high school to college usually does not have a lot to do with their physical ability, their talent. All of our guys are talented. It's the ones who mentally have that maturity to compete at that next level. And Al stood out from very early in training camp as a guy that was just not in awe of the speed of the game out here. Trajan Bandy gets kicked out of the game on the 4th play of the game against LSU. Guess what, Al Blades, you're the nickel. And maybe, you know, one of the most intimidating settings of all of college football, the Cowboy Stadium, and Al goes right in there and just is playing like he's playing catch in his backyard. So obviously there's something in his mental makeup and his wiring that makes him believe that he, you know, nothing's ever too big for him. He feels very confident in any situation he's in.
He's also had to carry, I mean, there's a burden that comes with that name, and he seems to carry that well. You know, he says, I'm used to hearing it, that I look like my dad, that I'm a reincarnation of my dad. How do you see him kind of carrying that? Because that can be tough sometimes.
I think he, like he mentioned, has probably a lot of practice at that because he's had that name his whole life, you know, so dealing with all that. But now the fact that he's got the number 7 shirt on and he's got a U on the side of his helmet, it takes it to a different level. So if he's, you know, however he's doing with it, the way it shows on the field is it's obviously he handles it in a positive manner.
You talk about the way he's able to handle it, and I know not every player who's good has bloodlines like he does, but it's got to mean something. It's got to help when you've been around it your whole life, when you have not just that, I mean your whole family has done what he's done.
You would think, but it's not a guarantee, right? Because you know, it's not been 100% with all, you know, great players. Things are different when they're brought up, and you know, just because what your last name is doesn't always guarantee future success. And let's be clear, Al still has a long way to go. You know, I mean, we're really proud of where he's been, and he's got a lot of ways to improve. But in his case, he's really cashed in and made the most of it.
And what freshmen in your eyes have earned more playing time after these first 2? Do you think going forward these guys have to be in there?
Well, first, unfortunately, Rousseau for sure would have been one. We're sad to see him go, and hope we can get him back. Again, up front, I think Silvera for sure will be in the mix. Joyner's got a chance now with Rousseau being out, you know, and we'll keep developing him. In the back end, you've already seen more DJ Ivey. You know, you'll continue to see him. We talked about Al, and then Gervin Hall. I think you'll start to see more and more as weeks go on.
To get back to the line, you mentioned obviously Greg's out. You get D-Jack back.
Right.
How much of a help is that, just considering the depth situation there?
Very important, especially going on the road. You know, noon kick, hostile environment. It's going to be a really big spectacle up there. So to have, again, an older guy who's been in that experience, you know, who's seen those type of environments. So he'll know what to do, and he'll be able to play full speed from the beginning is important for us. And we just want D-Jack back anyway. He's a big part of our defense.
What type of challenge does Toledo's receiver group pose for you?
They can do it all. I mean, they really can do it all. They're as deep as a group, and this is not my opinion, the numbers tell it, as anybody in the country when you got 3 guys that have 1,000-yard seasons. And they all have different skill sets, but the one thing they can all do, they can all take you deep. So every DB's, you know, primal fear is that deep ball. And every one of those guys has the ability, skill, releases to get off the line of scrimmage and to take you up the field and then make the plays down the field. So certainly they have our full attention. And even though they're younger quarterback, boy, when you got receivers like that to throw to, that certainly helps a guy, you know, sort of pick up for an excellent quarterback that had a year ago on Woodside.
Coach, we know how much he makes an impact on the field, but how different of a team are you when he's on the field making plays?
Who is this now? Willis?
Yeah.
Well, you know, again, the Miami 4-3 is predicated on disruptive defensive tackles. You know, and Willis is straight out of that mold. You know, he's quick, so he's hard for guards. You know, he has a quickness advantage over the guards that try to block him, but he's also powerful and tough. You know, so it's not all finesse, you know, and he can be strong and sturdy at the point of attack. And that's, you know, we always say that to be great in any defense, in any sport, you have to be great up the middle. And in football, that starts with your defensive tackles and your inside linebackers and then your safeties. So he is where it all begins for us on defense.
Did Al actually come? Did he literally come in on the next play after Vandy was?
It wouldn't have been the exact next play because we weren't in our dime defense the next play, but it was the next occasion when
we had the dime.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome.
Okay, thank you all so much.